Welcome to the Eclectic exhibit.
I went through the public school system and I ended up at the University of the Arts and graduated with a degree in painting. From there, I moved to New York. With intent, I had enrolled at the School of the Visual Arts, and I thought it would be with intent to continue that practice. I got to New York and ran out of money. And so I found myself in New York, staying in a really interesting situation in Tribeca with a couple of other artists. And one of them, who did not speak English at all, was named Weiwei. So we would basically just talk in sign language. At that time, of course, he was nobody. He was just a student like the rest of us. And I ended up freelancing in different situations. Out of that came a dream job, and it was working for a very famous jazz musician named Miles Davis. So I had stopped painting of being a poor artist and the struggles. And so when I was hired, the first thing that they told me was, Miles is learning to paint. He's painting every day. Maybe you can help him with that. So we traveled for 5 years together, and every single day he would paint in between musical engagements, in hotel rooms, wherever. And many times that led to a mess all over the hotel room, but whatever. So he began to ask me, like, why aren't you painting? I know that you have those skills. Why aren't you painting? And I would make excuses like, well, I'm too busy working, trying to help you. Well, it turned out that we started this practice together where we would paint together. Sometimes we would paint on the same canvases together. And it led to a show that he was offered. Now, I never signed the work that I was helping with him because it's basically work for him, is what I thought. I'm just going to help him. So we had this show. It was in this Soho gallery, and I didn't know what was in the show. He was also painting with his, girlfriend of the time, and so they were like sort of making official works for the show. So we get in the limousines, were of course another thing of that time period, and we got in a limousine to go down to this gallery in Soho, and the paparazzi was outside and the whole 9 yards, which I was already used to. And we walk in, and lo and behold, the two paintings that we made were in the show. So he, again, we were consumed with, the whole place was crowded. So we get back, at the end of it, we get back into the car to go back to his place, and he says, "What'd you think of your work in the show?" And I said, I was shocked. And he said, well, if they sell, you're going to get half of the money. And lo and behold, they were the only two that sold. So what happened was that I ended up with this check in my hand. It was the first time I had ever made any money. And he says, don't you think that's a reason to keep painting? So, yeah. And then, ironically enough, he led me back to the very thing that I always really loved. And I began to paint. Of course, he passed in '91, and I felt that that was the one thing, outside of all the memories of traveling and stuff, that was the one thing that I believe when I paint, his spirit is around.
Oh, that's nice.
How beautiful are these creative journeys?